After a first round bye, it's time for the UGA Bulldogs to get ready for the SEC Championship, and our first round matchup is going to be up against 16 and 14 Alabama. Now the main matchup of today's ball game is going to be the battle of the bigs down low. Sam Gay taking on Charles Bediako. Sam Gay is known to disappear when it comes time to play up against better bigs, so we're going to need him to show up here today and outplay his adversary. Now, the Alabama Crimson Tide will come out and play quick, fast, and physical to start off this ball game as we take a timeout down 12-4 early on in the first half. Now, I can't lie, boys. The team was playing a little bit flustered, and we got to find a way to get things going. And an unlikely hero from way behind the arc is going to be Tyson Butts as he gets that 3 to go. And another unlikely three-point shooter is going to help us out here down 7 as Tim Pace knocks down the tray ball from the corner. Tyson Butts is going to try his luck once again, missing that 3 from the corner, but Tim Pace is going to go ahead and clean that up. Later in the first half, we shrink the lead down to 3, but we get beat on the boards by a wing. He kicks that out, and Alabama knocks down another tray ball. And at this point in the game, it wouldn't matter who Alabama would give the ball to, as they would not miss open threes. Now, trying to combat that, Christian Wright is going to play fast. Abdul-Rahim is going to hit Baker for the easy slam. Baker plays great defense here, and he's going to go up and get fouled, going to the line. But Baker will leave money on the board as he's only going to go 1 for 2 at the free throw line, closing the gap to 4. Now, Catalinas is going to run a pick and roll here with Baker, and Baker this time is going to finish through the contact and 1. Baker's going to convert the three-point play, and he's going to finish off the and 1 with a perfect release on his free throw. Now here's Roy going to the basket for Alabama. Beautiful block by Tyson Butts. We're going to get out in transition. Renee Beatty's going to spin his way into the lane, and he's going to finish the layup, tying this ball game up. Now all tied up at 35, trying to lock in here with under a minute left in the half. Bediako working on the perimeter. We're not really afraid of that. He's working the ball back and forth. They finally pass it off to Darius Miles, and that one is going to be good. Alabama takes a 3-point lead here with 38 seconds left in the first half. Now with just 8 seconds left in the half, Miles works the ball over to Burnett. Burnett is going to find Holt way downtown, bang, and that is going to be a dagger of a shot heading into the second half. Going into the locker room, the Crimson Tide are going to take a 6-point lead. Now, the Bulldogs are shooting slightly better from the field, but right now the difference maker are going to be those threes that Alabama hit, and the leading scorer is going to be Chiku with 14 points, 11 for Baker. Now, in the start of the second half, man, we fight, scratch, and claw our way back into this game. Down 2, Tim Pace with the steal, slams it home with an emphatic dunk, tying this ball game up at 47. Now, Bama's up too late. Tim Pace pushing the break, kicks it to Jabri. Jabri back to Tim Pace. Tim Pace getting to the rack. Finish that one high off the glass. Timeout by the Crimson Tide. Tie ball game. Holt rises up for a jumper, and finally Alabama misses a shot. Sam Gay kicks it up to Gomer Church. Church leading the pack. Church working, looking for his man, resetting, calling for the pick and roll, going to the bread and butter. Sam Gay gets the look he wants, but Gomer Church throws it away. Roy off to the races, and he hits a tough layup on the break. Now things aren't looking too good right now. Down 4, pick and roll. This time he's able to get the pass into Sam Gay. He throws that one down. Now here we are trying to break the press. We get it up quick. Church throws a dime to Tim Pace. Tim Pace is going to throw that down. Now we foul Roy on the other end. He misses the second free throw. We're only down 3. We nearly throw that one away. Now we eventually end up calling a timeout, and out of the timeout, Gomer Church is working at the top of the key. He calls for the pick and roll. He actually gets a wide open 3. That one is off. Jabri Abdul-Rahim gets a clutch board, going with the pick and roll again. Gomer Church working. He's just going to go down low to Sam Gay. That's pretty much a guaranteed 2 at this point in the game. That's Church's 9th assist. Now here we are pressing. We force Alabama to play a lot faster than what they wanted to play. 14 seconds left on the play clock, boys. We've learned our lesson from what happened to us versus Auburn last year in the Final Four. We're going to take one of the last shots. Gomer Church is open. He throws the dime to Sam Gay. He throws that one down. 3.8 on the clock. No timeouts for Alabama. They kick it up to Bediako way downtown. That one is off, and we escape the second round of the SEC tournament. 79-78 is your final score. Tim Pace is your player of the game, going 9 for 10 from the field, 4 for 4 at the free throw line, 1 for 1 from 3, 23 points, 4 boards, 5 steals. Now here we are getting ready for semifinal action, taking on the Mississippi State Bulldogs, who are 23-10 on the season. Now this game is going a lot differently than the first 2 that we played during the regular season. We're actually down 1 here. Tim Pace throws that one away. Gomer Church get back on defense. Tyson Butts playing great defense. They're actually going to miss that. We got to try to find a way to get the ball into the hoop. Gomer Church is trying to bounce back from his piss poor game in the second round. Tim Pace thinks about taking one from three. We're working the ball around. Gomer Church getting the screen and roll from Tim Pace. We get that one down low, and Pace is going to jam it home. Now, we play great defense on the next possession, and we force a miss. We're going to run out in transition, kicking the ball up to Church. Church kicks it up to Pace, and Pace is going to get another dunk down low. Now, we're going to go back to the well. Gomer Church calling for the screen and roll once again, and once again, Tim Pace is going to finish, and we force a timeout by Mississippi State. Coming out of the timeout, we are up 5, 62-57. Now, we turn it up defensively on Mississippi State. We go with the full court press. Sam Gay's going to kick that up to Jabri Abdul-Rahim, and he's going to get a dunk of his own. And I can't really say that Mississippi State was ever out of this game, but I can't quite say that they were ever in this game either. Player of the game is going to be Sam Gay, 20 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 1 steal, 1 win away from the SEC championship for back-to-back seasons. Now, in a shocking turn of events, Ole Miss actually bumped off Kentucky in the SEC semifinal game, 73-69. So we're going to have to play back-to-back Mississippi teams. And remember, Ole Miss is our lone loss in SEC play this season. Now, the first half of this game would be a good one as Taylor gets a tip in there off the missed three from Abdul-Rahim. And we're trying to clip up on defense here. Abdul-Rahim picking up roughing full court, 94 feet, but we get caught with the mismatch down low. And Ole Miss is going to go right back to the paint here in transition. Ruffin is looking. He finds his man Zachary down low. Now, the thing about this Ole Miss team, they have twin towers. They have dual 7-footers in their front court. So with us knowing that they had 7-footers, we had to play fast. We had to play quick, and that was the only way we were going to be able to score inside the paint. And we tied this one up with a minute left in the first half. Now, late in the first half, under 20 seconds left, we're going to run a screen and roll with 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Tim Pace is going to get to the basket, slam that one home, and one. We got a 2-point lead. Pace at the line trying to convert the three the hard way. He cannot convert the and one. We missed a free throw, and then Ole Miss is off to the races. And what a pass down low, and we pick up a foul of our own. Now, Murrow would end up going 2 for 2 at the line, but we have 8 seconds left to try to get a decent shot off, and we're going to run in transition. We kick it up to Sam Gay. Sam Gay gets to the basket and one, blocking foul on Nance, and we get yet another opportunity to convert on an and one. Sam Gay at the line. You know he struggles there, but we're going to trust in our big fella to get the job done. Okay, release. We get a big board from Jabri Abdul-Rahim, and he finishes that one, and we get 4 instead. What a break heading into the locker room. 33-29 is your score. Now, taking a look at the halftime stats, Ole Miss is slightly shooting better than us, but we're both shooting poorly from 3. We have to make more free throws. We left 8 points on the line. We have Sam Gay leading us in points with 8, Jabri Abdul-Rahim with 6, Kevin leading us with 5. Take a look at who's going to be your player of the half. It's going to be Sam Gay. We got to feed this man early on often if we want to be successful and make a deep run in these tournaments. So why not start now? And Sam Gay's going to start the second half the same way he ended the first, with a dunk down low. But of course, Ole Miss is not going to lay down and die. They hit that shot there, and they're down just 2. We're trying to break the press. Jabri Abdul-Rahim to Tim Pace. Tim Pace short arms that one. He alligator arms it. Nearly getting a steal with Sam Gay. But Sam Gay and our bigs are out of place. Somebody's got to rip Zachary. They don't. They missed a 3. And the other big man is going to be down low to get a board. And another one. And he's going to finish that. And they ties the ball game back up. Now here we are. 41-39 is your score. Breakfield from way downtown. He's going to knock that one home. Now here's Church sizing up Ruffin, who's only 5'9". Church realizes that he's going to set himself up way downtown. Bang, shooting right over his defender. Now Gomer Church pushing the break. He's going to kick it up to Baker. Baker kicks it up to Taylor, and Taylor's going to catch a body, dunk it over 2 defenders. Now here we are, down 1, working on the wing. Beautiful dime from Gay to Baker. Baker gets his 4th points of the game. Now coach is calling the press. We're going to wreak havoc out here. We're trying to look to get a steal. Ole Miss breaks the press easily. Ruffin's going to get to the basket. No call by the ref. And we're out running once again. Wright kicks it up to McDowell. McDowell up to Gay. Gay is going to slam that one home, and we got ourselves a 3-point lead. We're going with the press. We get the steal. Sam Gay's going to dunk it again. And just like that, we're up 54-59. And what hustle from Sam Gay is he's going to keep that one in bounds, and we're getting the ball back. Now here we are up 54-51. Chris Wright is going to hit McDowell in the corner like a sniper. He's going to knock that down. And here we are on the press once again. Sam Gay gets the steal. He's going to lay that one home. Now playing great defense once again on the press. Kick it up to Sam Gay. He's going to get an easy dunk, and we are up 10. And now we are really just testing the waters here. Gomer Church with a step back way downtown. Bang. Count it. We're up 14, and we end up winning this game by double digits, 78-63. What a game from our guys out here today. It was close all throughout until we ran away with it at the end. Sam Gage, your player of the game, 34 points, 16 for 22, 2 for 3 from 3, 5 boards, an assist, and 4 steals. Back-to-back SEC champs. Now it's time to see if all of our hard work will pay off, and let's find out where we seed in Selection Sunday.
Good evening and welcome. I'm Greg Gumbel here with my partner Clark Kellogg, bringing you the 2K Sports NCAA Selection Show. We're all set to show you the seedings and pairings, so get out your bracket sheet, get those pencils ready. Here are the basics. Of the 65 available tournament bids, 31 are automatically given to conference champions. The tournament committee hands out the remaining 34 bids on an at-large basis. An opening round game will take place on Tuesday night to narrow the field to 64 teams. Before we get into the brackets for the upcoming tournament, let's take a look at the final top 25 media poll. There's certainly one big shift that we'll be talking about. The Baylor Bears jumped all the way from the number 23 spot to number 18.
They're peaking at just the right time, Greg. This is exactly the way you want to be playing going into the tournament.
The poll voters have had their say in the national ranking since November, but the time has come to hand over the reins to the selection committee. It's time to talk about the topic that has a lot of players and coaches holding their breath right now, the NCAA tournament bubble. These are the 10 teams that aren't worried as much about where they'll be playing as if they'll be playing. Clark, who jumps out at you there?
Mississippi State
put together a solid season, but their record just isn't impressive enough to make them a no-brainer bid. If the committee doesn't give weight to their tough conference, they could be out of luck.
And we have a few more teams in similar position, right, Clark?
Indiana had the chance to set themselves apart from the rest of the bubble team, but they never could get over that hump and guarantee themselves a spot.
I'm sure it's been a long week for those teams, but the wait's almost over. The NCAA Selection Committee has finished its meeting, and we're ready to unveil the top 4 seeds in this year's tournament. The Georgia Bulldogs are the top overall seed, and they will play in the East Regional. On to the second number 1 seed, who will play in the South Regional. The Gonzaga Bulldogs are seeking their first ever NCAA championship. The North Carolina Tar Heels are our third number 1 seed, and they'll play in the Midwest Regional. They're back in the tournament again, and no doubt they'll be feeding off the experience of last year's appearance as they try to get to the Final Four this year. And finally, our fourth number 1 seed will play in the West Regional. The Louisville Cardinals are in the tournament field as a number 1 seed for the first time in the history of their program. Now, here's how the brackets shape up based on where the number 1 seeds have been assigned. In one national semifinal game, the winner of the East Regional will play the winner of the South Regional. In the other semifinal game, the winner of the Midwest Regional will play the winner of the West Regional. Those games will be played on Saturday, April 3rd. Then it'll be on to the national championship game on Monday night, April the 5th. Anything shocking to you about those picks?
Well, when you see the selection committee deviate from the top 4 teams in the media poll, it's a little surprising. They've opened themselves up to some criticism with these picks.
So, with the number 1 seeds out of the way, it's finally time to tackle the rest of the brackets. First up, we take a look at the East Regional. The Georgia Bulldogs are the top seed, finishing at 31-2. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the SEC. They will take on the winner of the opening round play-in game between Howard with 17 wins. And now the number 8 seed, the Miami Hurricanes, come into the tournament on the strength of a 3rd place finish in their conference regular season and finish 2nd in their conference tournament. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Washington State Cougars, who were 4th in their conference, finishing at 21-10. Florida State comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 21-8. And they will take on the 12th seed from the Missouri Valley Conference, the Bradley Braves, with 20 wins. Oregon enters the field as the number 4 seed from the Pac-10. This marks their 19th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed. The Bucknell Bison finished the season with 20 wins.
The Oregon Ducks do the one thing that all great teams absolutely must do, and that's play tremendous team defense. These guys have been shutting down opponents all year with a combination of speed, intelligence, and sheer determination. There have been NCAA championship teams of all shapes and sizes, but all of them played good, strong defense.
The Wisconsin Badgers are in as the number 6 seed. They'll be taking on the number 11 seed, the Michigan Wolverines, with 20 wins. Arizona comes in as the number 3 seed, finishing at 22-7. Winthrop comes in to face them at number 14 with 20 wins in the tournament and regular season championships of the Big South. Our number 7 seed is from Conference USA. The UCF Golden Knights were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the Big Dance. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Coppin State Eagles, who were semifinalists in their conference tournament, finishing at 28-5. Next up is the number 2 seed. The Villanova Wildcats have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Big East. They'll be going up against the number 15 seed, the Fresno State Bulldogs, with 19 wins. This will be their 8th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Some of the lower seeds in this bracket have the ability to not only compete with the high seeds, but win a few games. The potential for a Cinderella or two in this bracket is definitely there. Next up, we'll take a look at the South Regional. The Gonzaga Bulldogs are the top seed, finishing at 33-0. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the West Coast Conference. They'll take on the away team, the number 16 ranked team. This is their 6th appearance all time in the NCAA tournament. Georgetown comes in as the number 8 seed, finishing at 23-10. Maryland comes in to face them at number 9 with 19 wins in the tournament championship of the ACC. Iona enters the field as the number 5 seed from the Metro Atlantic Conference. This marks their 16th appearance in the NCAA tournament in the history of their school. They'll be getting ready to face the number 12 seed, the Murray State Racers, who finished the season with 22 wins.
The Iona Gales are going to provide serious matchup problems to any team that doesn't have depth and defensive ability at both guard spots. They have outstanding backcourt play at both ends of the court. It's the main reason they've made it this far, and they're going to have to maintain that form if they want to do some damage in this tournament.
Baylor comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 24-9. And they'll take on the 13th seed from the MAC, the Kent State Golden Flashes, with 20 wins. And now the number 6 seed, the Tennessee Volunteers, come into the tournament as the 4th place team in their conference during the regular season and were losers in their first game at their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Kansas State Wildcats, who were 5th in their conference, finishing at 18-12. The Creighton Blue Jays are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Valparaiso Crusaders, with 18 wins. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Ole Miss Rebels have established themselves as one of the best teams from the SEC. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Indiana Hoosiers, with 23 wins. They return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA tournament. Our number 2 seed is from the Big 12. The Aggies of Texas A&M had a tremendous year that included a regular season championship. They're going to play the number 15 seed, the Old Dominion Monarchs, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 17-14. Looking into the future a little bit, this bracket looks poised for a titanic matchup in the regional final. If the top 2 seeds can take care of business in the first 3 rounds, we have the possibility of a classic Elite 8 meeting. On to our 3rd bracket of the day. Let's take a look at the Midwest Regional. The North Carolina Tar Heels are the top seed, finishing at 25-4. They were winners of the regular season championship in the ACC. They'll take on the New Hampshire Wildcats, the number 16 ranked team. This marks their first appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Our number 8 seed is from the Patriot League. The Holy Cross Crusaders had a tremendous year that included a regular season championship. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the Memphis Tigers, who finished 2nd in their conference tournament, finishing at 25-7. The San Diego State Aztecs are in as the number 5 seed. They'll be taking on the number 12 seed, the Ohio State Buckeyes, with 20 wins. Iowa enters the field as the number 4 seed from the Big Ten. This marks their 28th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed. The away team finished the season with 17 wins.
The Iowa Hawkeyes will be an extremely dangerous team in this tournament, mainly because they have such terrific veteran leadership. Coaches love when they have guys on the floor that have been around the block a few times because they don't get rattled. They play with composure. I look at the experience of this team as something that could put them over the top.
Duke comes in as the number 6 seed, finishing at 21-9. and they take on the 11th seed from the ACC, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, with 17 wins. And now the number 3 seed, the Duquesne Dukes, come into the tournament after finishing second in their conference during the regular season and were winners of their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 14 seed, the Northwestern State Demons, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 22-7. Next up is the number 7 seed, the USC Trojans, are the conference tournament champions from the Pac-10. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Texas Longhorns, with 20 wins. They return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA tournament. Kentucky comes in as the number 2 seed, finishing at 27-5. Long Beach State comes in to face them at number 15 with 18 wins in the tournament championship of the Big West. On the surface, I'd have to say this regional might be the most difficult of the 4. Certainly the depth of quality teams here is very impressive. Whoever emerges from this bracket will have been through some battles. And finally, let's have a look at the West Regional. The Louisville Cardinals are the top seed, finishing at 28-5. They won both the regular season and conference tournament titles in the Big East. They'll take on the Monmouth Hawks, the number 16 ranked team. This will be their 5th appearance all time in the NCAA tournament. Next up is the number 8 seed, the West Virginia Mountaineers, have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Big East. They'll be going up against the number 9 seed, the Utah Utes, with 23 wins. They return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA tournament. Tulane comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 28-6. And they will take on the 12th seed from the Atlantic Sun Conference, the Belmont Bruins, with 22 wins. Houston comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 23-7. Penn comes in to face them at number 13 with 17 wins. And the regular season championship of the Ivy League. Our number 6 seed is from the Horizon League. The Butler Bulldogs had a tremendous year that included a regular season championship. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Brigham Young Cougars, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 22-9. The Kansas Jayhawks are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the away team, with 21 wins. And now the number 7 seed, the Virginia Cavaliers, come into the tournament 5th in their conference during the regular season and were semifinalists in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Colorado Buffaloes, who were 4th in their conference, finishing at 19-11. Dayton enters the field as the number 2 seed from the A-10 conference. This marks their 19th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 15 seed. The Portland State Vikings finished the season with 17 wins.
The Dayton Flyers have more to prove than any other team in this tournament. They haven't had a lot of experience in the tournament recently, so it's difficult to say exactly how they'll handle it. They've shown they're capable of playing with the best teams in the nation during the regular season. Now they need to show they belong with those teams come tournament time.
There are going to be some incredible matchups in the later rounds of this bracket if the top seeds can avoid the early upsets. We can look forward to some real heavyweight battles. Clark, how do you view this year's top 16?
Maybe I haven't agreed with the selection committee every year, but I think they did a great job this time. The top 16 looked just about right to me. Baylor snuck into the top 16 is probably the weakest of the 4 seeds, and I'd be surprised if they make it to the real Sweet 16.
Now, let's bring the conference picture into focus. The ACC gets 7 teams, the Big 12 with 6, 5 out of the Big 10. The Pac-10 gets 4 teams.
What a down year for the non-power conference. We're used to seeing at least one of those conferences compete on the level of the power conferences, but not this year.
And let's not forget the teams out of the Patriot League. For a small conference, they competed at a very high level this year. Those teams could be the place to look if you're trying to find a Cinderella story in the tournament.
I'm surprised there were so few bids for the teams in the A-10. It was an especially disappointing year for that conference. Usually you can count on a few of the nation's elite teams coming out of there, but this was a season where very few of those teams could maintain any type of positive momentum.
We showed you the bubble teams before. Now that we know who's in and who's out, what do you think of the selections, Clark?
Michigan.
Must feel like a weight was lifted off its shoulders, but now the real challenge begins. Making a strong run in the tournament will justify the bid while proving the naysayers wrong.
While they start prepping for their first round games, the 5 teams on the other side of the page will be full-time students again.
Mississippi State stumbled to the finish line coming down the stretch, and that's not the way to close out the season if you're hoping for an at-large bid. When they couldn't get it done in their conference tournament, Their goose was cooked.
All right, Clark, now that we know all the teams and matchups, time to get the tournament underway and let the madness take over.
Greg, let's throw the ball up right now. I can't wait to get started. I hope this is an NCAA tournament that gives a lot of those special moments that stay with us for years to come.
For my partner Clark Kellogg and for all of us here in the 2K Sports Studios, I'm Greg Gumbel. Thanks for joining us on the NCAA Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Enjoy all the excitement of the NCAA tournament.
Niggas want me to lose, but I can't. I've been stacking this shit to the ceiling. Know some niggas with bodies, and it ain't no probably. We never speak on them killers. Everybody on my block gon' get them some money. It's only a couple of drillers. I've been fucking them hoes, man. Them bitches ain't nobody. Boy, get the fuck out your